seemed like the game plan looked really good in that first quarter, but when things just sort of set you back behind the chains, sort of threw things off. How much did that throw off what you want to throw down?
Yeah, a lot. First two drives of the game, you go down and, you're in scoring range. And then we get two back-to-back penalties, on those first two drives against the number one team in the country. Unfortunately, those things aren't going to help you. And then what we scored on the third drive of the game, was the third possession of the game we got on a score, I believe. So really our first three possessions of the game, you think, our scoring, we have a third and long. Was it on the second drive of the game? We missed the sail throw to Tavion, high, and that's one that we got to hit, and feel good about putting yourself in scoring position there. And then, like you said, it just gets away from you. Second half, probably obviously try to throw it a little bit too much at times, but just a really, really frustrating game.
Some of those passes, like that one to Tavion that just weren't there, have you seen those accuracy issues pop up in practice? Has that been a problem that kind of bleeds over?
Yeah, on and off. I thought we threw it really well, actually, throughout the course of the week. We've been, diligent about trying to fix the pass game. We're trying to do it as much as possible. We only threw it 26 times and complete 10 of them. That's obviously not where we want to be. But it shows up. But at the end of the day, when you're in a game like this, you can't, none of us can miss those.
Liam, I know it's disappointing right now. Just what are your emotions like?
Just frustrated. I think that I don't know if we got stopped in the first three drives of the game, and against a team like that, you just can't do those things. And then you look at the second half, and that's where they play their best. They play their best in the third and fourth quarter of games, and we didn't do anything in the third and fourth quarter of the game. Really, I guess, besides the turnover where we scored on the second play there. But just frustrated, disappointed for the guys. We want to be better for the guys. We want to be better, for each other. But we got to move on fast.
Mark talks about not letting one turn into two. How do you relay that to your guys throughout the week? Or is it do you think your guys will have a hard reset? How do you do that?
We need to have a hard reset. If you look at, we got our butts kicked. Flat out. We got our butts kicked. So when you get your butt kicked, it's not a lot of people to blame. We all got to look in the mirror. We all have to reset. Players, coaches, all of us on the offensive staff and players as well. If you can't respond from this one, it's going to be tough to respond from anything in life.
Is this a burn the tape game, or can you teach off this tape?
I don't really know yet. Got a few texts that said burn the tape, so I'm assuming it's one of those. But it's I don't know how much we can learn from when you have those penalties early on. It's not really an execution issue there. It's just unfortunate mishap, which puts you in some long spots, and then game just gets away from you. So. I'm assuming it's probably going to be more in the burn the tape world, but I'm sure it'll be difficult to do that for me personally.
Okay, thanks, Liam.
What do you guys do after?
Honestly, it's in a memory bank. We got to flush it and just focus on, trying to get better, fix the things we need to get fixed, and just get back to the drawing board. We got a good opponent coming up within Mizzou next weekend, and just focus on that. Obviously, it was a tough loss. We worked our butts off all week. We wish the outcome was different, but, it's football. The game is wins and losses, and it's about how you battle adversity and you come back.
Ray, it felt like the game kind of slipped really quick in that first. You guys played a solid second and third quarter. The first it was possible. What happened there, team-wise? What happened to fall behind so quick?
Just football, honestly. I couldn't tell you much to it. It was football. It happened, and that's kind of it.
The coaches talked about how they weren't happy with practice on Tuesday. Did you feel like the mentality and the focus of the team heading into this week was where it should have been?
Today's Saturday, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm past Tuesday, so I don't really got no comment on that one. You know, just getting back to the drawing board and do what we got to do.
Ray, as a leader on this team, as a senior, you've been in the situation before. Some of those undisciplined penalties that are happening, as a leader of the team, do you guys just kind of act like nothing happened to go on, or is it a point where you kind of step up and be like, we got to get this together, or somebody on that offense, or you just kind of put it in the past?
I mean, we can't control penalties. You know, we got to control. We can control. You know, unfortunately, I think in the first two drives we were going. We got past the 50, and we had some penalties that stopped us. But you know, it's about again facing adversity. What do you do when it's time to play your game? And obviously, we didn't do well, and it's about just putting it in the memory bank and getting back to what we got to get back to and playing Kentucky football.
What do you feel like the offense as a unit has to do to get better?
Get back to playing Kentucky football.
What does that look like?
We'll find out on Monday.
All right, anything else? All right, Greg?
No, I think it's very much a mixture of both. Credit to them. We talked about all week. We knew what kind of football team they were. Right, they're a real good football team, and they came out with a edge and an attitude and a mentality. We knew they were going to be aggressive, pushing the ball down the field, and yeah, it's a combination. I thought, execution wasn't great, but we didn't tackle. I mean, we'd been really good all year so far, positioning on the ball, not losing leverage, head up, eyes up, tackling. Again, credit to them. I thought, whoever it was, whether it was Bowers, whether it was the running backs, I thought ran hard for them. I thought I thought they played with an edge, they got out to a quick start, we had a chance to make a stop there, and then we killed ourselves with a silly penalty, right? And so then they go down and score another touchdown, and so all those things. And I as a play caller, I just couldn't get it right either. I couldn't put the guys, just to time up sort of the perfect pressure. I was either a play early, I was a play late, and sometimes you're just having those games when you're on, and this was one of those that just nothing seemed to go right. But I will say this. There is still no defense that I would rather coach than this group of guys. They competed to the end, and so we'll go back, we'll figure out, the issues, and we'll be ready for next week.
Did you give you an explanation for that penalty? It looked like maybe they thought the play was still alive, or exactly?
Yeah, at the end of the day, just the way the rules are, you can't crack, whether it was alive or not. It wasn't that, it was just that, the whistle wasn't ever really blown dead. I wish it would have, because then everybody would have stopped. But regardless, you can't crack back on a defenseless, player. And so we'll get that corrected. It's unfortunate, but you can't take it back.
Brad, we knew how strong your run defense was. They knew they started the game just throwing and really attacking in the passing game. Did that catch the secondary by surprise? Was that not?
No, there was nothing by surprise there. We like I said, we talked about it all week, that we knew they were going to come out when they're at home. They push the ball vertically early and often, and again, there were some communication things out there. Again, it was a complete, from coaches, from coordinator to the coaches to the players, it's not our standard, and we know that. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no way to sit up here and tell you this. Listen, we got whipped, and I think the key for all of us to understand, right, is that you just have to stay within the facility. It doesn't matter. You're going to get humbled really quick. Everybody tells you how good you are, right? And it can be right around the corner. And so we understand the task we have ahead of us, a really good Missouri offense. And so we better get things fixed and play back to our standard and our level.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
It's like not letting one loss turn into two, and we asked much they can say to you guys, but you guys have to implement that with the play on the field. How do you as a leader on the defense rally around that, not letting this one turn into two next Saturday?
We just gotta watch the film, correct their mistakes, and we go back to work and work hard in practice this week.
Did it feel like a snowball that you just couldn't ever get it stopped?
Georgia a good team. They came out, they punched us in the mouth, and we just couldn't respond.
Knowing the guys in that locker room like you do, how do you feel like they're gonna respond to this adversity?
We're gonna respond well. We're gonna practice hard this week and come back and be ready for Missouri.
Coach Stoops has talked a lot about last year, maybe you guys didn't respond to adversity, and he took a lot of that blame on himself. What did you learn from that you can apply in this situation?
I mean, this is a different team from last year, so we just gonna watch this film, like I said, and just keep pushing on, just practice hard and get ready for Missouri next week.
Derek, like I asked Brad, the start, they kind of came out throwing, obviously they respected your run defense, but what happened in the passing game to not, slow them down early in the game?
They came out, they had a good game plan, and they just threw the ball on us, and we just gotta respond. That's it. We just gotta respond.